Welcome to Feed Dump, and record temperatures are hitting Victoria this week, so we are all things to do in the summer, specifically to bring to the beach. Me? I am a beach ball, filled with warm leftover beer from Canada Day. Not for me, but for my friends, because I love them. With me this week is an umbrella.
I can protect myself from the sun, or more likely from the rain, because this is Victoria, and it's probably going to rain at the beach.
And an air conditioner.
Yes, with a house around it, so that I can be inside. And not at the beach, because the beach sucks.
To be honest, the beach is full of rocks anyway. A man in Palm Beach was cited by the local police after jumping a rising drawbridge in his vehicle.
If you smash through a barrier and you're 50 feet from a jump over a drawbridge, do you brake or do you try to accelerate and make it? Like that, they don't teach you that. And they should. They should teach you that.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that they fined him $10,000 for being totally awesome, man. That was wicked.
But seriously, what was he cited for? Heroism? Is there actually a law against jumping over a drawbridge? Because I kind of hope there isn't.
I don't think I want to live in a world where that's wrong.
Yeah, you know what? If you can jump over a drawbridge, fair play to you.
Sadly, this man is not a hero. He was cited by the police for reckless driving because he was checking his GPS while he went past the lowering arm and then somehow still checking his GPS while he rocketed over the gap, completely unaware of the fact that he was doing this.
I actually think that makes him cooler.
He didn't even know he was doing a stunt. He was just checking his GPS and pulled it off.
It is Jason Statham!
Or, now that I think about it, the other guy that does amazing stunts without paying attention is Mr. Magoo.
We figured it out. Coming this fall, Jason Statham in Magoo.
I think there was a Mr. Magoo movie with Leslie Nielsen.
All right, fine. Coming this fall, Jason Statham in Magoo 2, 2 Goo.
Pope Francis, of the Catholic Church, is planning a trip to Bolivia, and a Bolivian minister reported that Pope Francis, upon landing, would like to try chewing some coca leaves.
Oh, now I understand why this pope has been so productive.
You know, I'm not religious, but I like this guy.
No, he's not doing it to be cool. La Paz is the highest international airport in the world.
Yeah, it is.
And sometimes people get altitude sickness, and so they chew the leaves in order to overcome the sickness. It's all very above board.
You chew coca leaves because you get altitude sickness? Most people just, take Gravol or something.
I have been seriously underinformed as to what my options are to dealing with air sickness.
So, are you saying that the Pope has some kind of back-channel coca leaf connection?
The Vatican isn't aware that any such request on the Pope's behalf was made, so no one's really sure where to take this yet.
This actually kind of brings up a larger issue. Does the Pope actually have any rules about what he is and is not allowed to take? And if there were rules, couldn't he just say, nope, God said that I can have this now?
Your Holiness, I understand that you have a tummy ache, but that is a fuck ton of weed.
God said it was fine. Are you saying God is a liar?
No, sir. I'll get you a lighter.
Okay.
Seriously, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on the subject, but wouldn't the solution to having very little oxygen be oxygen?
No, I respect that the Pope is going to go for the more natural option.
What's more natural than air?
Maybe he could have oxygen laced with cocaine, kind of the best of both worlds, and oxygen plus kind of thing.
New York police are looking for a man in a wheelchair who is suspected of robbing a New York bank, then rolling out of the building with $1,200 cash and just making a clean getaway.
And that man's name was Jason Statham, who was in a wheelchair as he was injured on the set of his last film, Magoo 2.
You know, this is great to see. Before they installed wheelchair ramps everywhere, this guy wouldn't have been able to rob anybody. And now he can rob just as well as somebody who can walk.
So I'm going to play the devil's advocate here and guess that this guy wasn't actually wheelchair bound. That was just his shtick to get through, because the most recognizable thing about the robbery would be the guy was in a wheelchair. I'm guessing he just rolled out of the bank and stood up, and no one thought to look for the guy who was walking.
That's brilliant! Jason Statham is a genius! I wonder if this was before or after he jumped over the drawbridge.
Jason Statham wasn't in every Feed Dump story this week, you guys!
Well, duh, Beej. He's too young to play the Pope.
I like to imagine this guy came out of the bank and then like went down the street and into an alley, and then 5 minutes later came out of the alley in like a different color wheelchair just to throw the cops off the scent?
He didn't even have a gun. He robbed the bank with a note.
Did he have a gun?
No, he had a note.
He robbed you with a note?
Well, he was in a wheelchair. I didn't want to be rude. So basically, with the plethora of information provided by the witnesses, the perpetrator could be Professor Xavier.
Professor Xavier would never wear a hoodie.
But Jason Statham playing Professor Xavier in a movie would.
That's true. Jason Statham fulfills all the requirements for playing Professor Xavier in a movie. He's bald.
To be honest, I would watch any one of these movies. Especially the one about the Pope getting high as balls. And that'll do it for Feed Dump this week. And remember, there may be better sources for news, but they don't have this hat, which talks about how good my head is. That's what that means. You'll have to probably zoom in and see it. I didn't think this one through and asked to zoom in, but you'll have to pretend that there's a thing on there that says good head. I thought it was funny.
And that man's name was Jason Statham. You can't laugh, I've got more after that.